Welcome to our Maiden Women in Tech Stakeholders Forum. Wherever you are joining us from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Our theme for this year's forum is Advancing Women and Girls in the Tech Ecosystem in Africa. And we are so privileged to have phenomenal speakers, women who are renowned in the field of tech, join us today. Some are here with us in person, others will be joining in remotely. As an introduction, WITIN is a leading community of women in tech dedicated to the advancement of women and girls. WITIN's community caters for women in the campus, early career, returnees, incomers, entrepreneurs, seniors, mid-career, volunteers and interns, educators, rural women, as well as youths and men who play prominent roles in our E4She movement. For girls, we run STEM outreaches via our annual Girls in ICT celebrations, as well as boot camps. Our projects and programs are hinged on global developmental goals like the SDGs and the WSIS targets. We rely on partnerships and generous support to achieve our goals. WITIN's impact over the years has been phenomenal. I use this opportunity to thank our sponsors and supporters over the years. So over to you, Madam Moderator.
All right, thank you very much. That was the welcome address by Martha Alade, founder of Women in Tech in Nigeria. So we'll not waste time because we saw we had some technical issues while we're starting, but we'll go right ahead to the first presentation for the day. And the keynote speaker for today is Ms. Funke Opeke, who is the founder and CEO of MainOne. MainOne is a broadband infrastructure services provider that built West Africa's first privately owned open access submarine cable system, interconnecting Lagos, Nigeria, Accra, Ghana, and Seychelles, Portugal in 2010. In January of 2015, the company launched operations of MDXI, West Africa's largest commercial Tier 3 data center, and in November 2015, it launched a submarine cable extension from Lagos into Kribi, Cameroon. MainOne has grown to become the leading provider of wholesale and enterprise connectivity and data center services across the West African region. And the company partners with major global technology companies to deliver services to its customers. The company continues to grow its footprint with major network interconnection, facilities, extensive terrestrial fiber build-out, regional points of presence, and delivery of services into 10 countries in West Africa. Would like to welcome Ms. Funke Opeke. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Madam Okoro, and it is such a delight to be joining this first WITIN Stakeholders Forum in 2021. I want to first acknowledge and thank my sister, Mrs. Martha Alade, for the tremendous work that she has been doing in our community, rallying, mentoring, and really sponsoring women in technology in Nigeria. Congratulations. We recognize the commitment and persistence that it takes to build the organization to what you have today, with the recognition and the impact that you are having in our society, and just want to commend all of your efforts and proud to be associated with you. Indeed, the theme of this year's Stakeholder Forum is advancing women and girls in the tech ecosystem in Africa. Clearly, with the experience of the past 18 months now, and leading up to 2 years, the role of tech in our society has been further highlighted. We cannot underestimate the role technology plays in our lives now and will continue to play in the future, whatever that new normal eventually settles down to be. What we have seen is that even during the pandemic, at a time when our larger economy was distressed, technology and the contribution of technology to the GDP of Nigeria continued to rise relative to other sectors of the economy to almost 18%. And the outlook is that that percentage will continue to grow in the foreseeable future. So when we look at the outsized role that technology is starting to play in our society, in our economy, and obviously in our daily lives as women, it is important that we ensure we have a seat at the table. And I think that truly is what WITIN is all about. The future of this country, the power, the economy, the wealth is tied to digital transformation, the role of technology to transform all our industries. And so it is really critical that we as women start thinking of how and organizing and equipping ourselves to play a role and have a seat at the table. I personally have been privileged. I had a wonderful female physics teacher in high school and also a female lab technician. And that really cemented my desire to pursue a career in electrical engineering. If they had careers that were more in the physical sciences at a time when if you were a good science student, you were very actively encouraged to pursue the medical sciences. I had the support and encouragement to pursue electrical engineering, and so began my career in tech. So we have, of course, a few seniors and for each of us that have been privileged, for all the mid-career professionals who have been privileged, for all the alumni of WITIN who have been privileged to have exposure and have a stake and have a role to play in the industry today, we have to ensure that we pull many more along and support the work of organizations like WITIN in ensuring that indeed that seat we have at the table is not just one layer, but that it's many layers deep, and that we have women who can step up and play a bunch of diverse roles and also significant roles, and that we're not outgunned when it comes to the numbers. And obviously the numbers are not in our favor today when we consider that as women, we constitute approximately 50% of the population. But when you look at women and girls in the tech industry overall, perhaps you would find 25% representation. And even that 25% representation is not necessarily all in core technology roles, but it is in some of the softer areas. So clearly, there's a lot of room and a lot of work that we have to do to close the gap to ensure we have better representation and participation. How do we close that gap? How do we advance women and girls in the tech ecosystem? Of course, our governments have a role to play, and we will continue to challenge and lend our voice that STEM education should continue to be emphasized, that education of the girl child, especially in our society, when young girls are typically left behind in favor of male siblings, especially in homes that are income challenged or are living in poverty, and the girls are viewed as a means of generating income without necessarily getting an education, that equal educational access, affordable and free educational access that is of quality would be made available to girl children so that they can have the access to the opportunities that exist in this digital world that's transforming all around us. But beyond government, what can we do? And I think each of us has a role to play. Clearly, supporting WITIN, the work WITIN does, as volunteers, as mentors, as supporters in any way we can, is one way. Another is clearly encouraging young girls, young women to study the sciences and math, and that prepares for a career in technology, but also encouraging young women to indeed pursue those careers. And for those of us who are already in those careers, ensure that we play a role so the young girls and the younger women have role models and mentors so that they indeed understand and can learn that careers in technology can be productive and fulfilling for women. In addition, for those of us who are in a position to do so, we need to recruit and train young women. We need to recruit them, we need to mentor them, we need to ensure that they have access to training and career opportunities to develop and live fulfilled lives. And finally, getting together in fora like this, a coalition of women playing active role. I know we have some men with us, and recruiting the men to support us as well will ensure that our voices are propagated further to all who can support the cause and who believe in the cause of women having an active role and a seat at the table, and our results will be amplified. I think each and every one of us have a role to play. Mrs. Alade has championed our cause and playing a leadership role, and I trust that we will all continue to rally and support the good work that is being done. Once again, I want to congratulate WITIN on this event today and wish that we have a very successful stakeholder forum, and wish the leadership and the entire organization greater strides as we continue to develop the tech ecosystem in Nigeria, across Africa, and ensure that we have better representation at the table. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was an excellent keynote address. So we move on to our next speaker. Dr. Margaret Nyambura Ndungu is an information scientist with over 20 years of work experience. She holds a PhD in information systems. She is currently seconded to the African Union Commission as a senior internet governance expert on an EU-funded project, policy and regulation initiative for digital Africa. Women, help me welcome Dr. Mrs. Margaret Nyambura Ndungu to take on the next presentation.
Thank you, Madam Kara. And I'll kindly request that I switch off my video due to connectivity challenges. Madam Funke Opeke, the keynote speaker, Madam Martha Alade, the founder of Women in Technology in Nigeria, my mentor, Madam Mary Uduma, the regional IGF convener and the chairperson of the African IGF, all the distinguished panelists and the great people of Nigeria, good morning. It's quite an honor for me to have been asked to speak in this forum that has great panelists, distinguished people that are change makers, not just in Nigeria, but across the continent. And congratulations to the organizers for a forum with a resonating theme at the global level, that is advancing women and girls in the tech ecosystem in Africa, is an area that we really need to focus on. As the keynote speaker has said, when it comes to technology, we are underrepresented. Women make up only 28% of the workforce in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, that is STEM. The gender gaps are particularly high in some of the fastest growing and highest paid jobs of the future, like the computer science, the data science, information system, engineering. Now we have artificial intelligence. We need to have young and all ages of women participating in that. But as we all know, in the digital innovation, digital literacy, and in the ICT for development, gender equality is often an afterthought. In the design stage, we are not there. So women are frequently framed as hard to reach, relatively passive participants, yet we all know that the gig economy is supported by these technologies, and it is one of the fastest and one of the easiest area that we can work in, especially given what has happened with the global pandemic. It is worth noting that empowering girls and young women through STEM can play a key role in bringing solutions to daily challenges in our societies and give young women the possibilities to lead in their communities. What again, COVID has shown us that digital space is the pathway to diverse socio-economic development and livelihoods. We have seen many businesses that were founded during this particular time. We have found most of us working from our homes. Particularly, I always tell myself as a mother of 3 young children who are triplets and they are 7 years old. For the last 12 or so months, I've been working from home. That is because of the digital technologies. How many women are able to do that? We need to ensure that everybody is enabled, has the opportunity to do so. So at the continental level, what is African Union doing? Aspirations 6 of the African Union Agenda 2063 calls for a continent whose development is people-driven, relying on the potential African people and especially its women and youth, and caring for children. And again, we are saying the women need to be involved in this tech industry because they are the people who spend most of the time with the young people. And the young people, they are getting exposed to technologies as young as probably 2 years. And without women really understanding what is happening in the tech industry, then we are likely to get a young generation that has no clear direction, or they are introduced to digital space with content that we may not be very proud of. The African Union Continental Education Strategy for Africa recognizes information communication technologies as a major tool for empowering young graduates and ensuring they contribute to socio-economic development by ensuring universal access, not just for education, but technologies, which is an enabler. And again, the mission for the African Union International Center for Girls and Women's Education in Africa is to empower girls and women through education, in line with the strategic objective 6 of Continental Education Strategy for Africa, which aims at accelerating processes leading to gender parity and equity. As African Union, there is a project called PRIDA, and PRIDA stands for Policy and Regulation Initiative for Digital Africa, which is a joint initiative of the African Union, the European Union, and the International Telecommunication Union. PRIDA, which was founded in 2018, has 3 main objectives. The first one being to address issues of broadband demand and supply in Africa. We know this is a challenge across the continent. The second objective being to support harmonization of ICT and telecommunication policies and legal regulatory frameworks. And again, we are saying technology is an enabler, but again, it is borderless. So we need to harmonize our policies, our regulations. And the last one is capacity building and building system in the internet governance space. And again, we are saying we need to be involved in the governance of the internet, because internet governance is about diverse aspects in the digital space, cutting across social, economic, cultural, development, and all aspects of our livelihood. So we need to get involved in this and encourage our young women. And as PRIDA, we have already supported 17 schools of internet governance. That means 17 countries across the continent. And we also supported the West Africa School of IG and the Nigeria School of IG. And basically as a criteria, we encourage young women. We encourage women across different ages, different stakeholder groups to participate in these trainings. And our target has always been 50-50. We have not been able to achieve that. The reason being the same argument that there are no women in tech, the women do not apply for these courses. And that's where we really need to move further and ensure that we are more accommodative, we are more flexible. And in such kind of courses, we are even able to advertise in forums where we get women. But again, this may not be enough. What do we need to do to ensure that whatever we are having now does not continue 10 years to come, 20 years to come? And the thing is to start from early childhood development. We need to start exposing young girls, young children to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses. And we start making them interested so that by the time they are getting primary school education at the university, then we have the numbers. Because as it is, even at the university level, you'll still find that STEM courses, you only have about 10-15% of women participants. And therefore, it becomes very, very difficult to change at that level. So we have to move further. Let us address the digital divide and give everybody an equal opportunity and access to technologies. And again, let us not limit to only those young girls and women that are in urban areas. Let's think about those who are in rural areas. Let's think in terms of, are they getting connected? And if they are connected, have they been trained? Are we creating awareness? Hence, broadband connectivity message that is actually going across the globe, that we want meaningful access to technologies, then let it be accompanied by awareness creation and capacity building on the challenges and opportunities presented in the digital space. Because we are saying we just don't want women to be in this space, but they not clear what we want them to do. Let us first of all start also coming up with the relevant content that they resonate with, that makes sense to them, that improves their livelihoods. And with that, then we are able to encourage more women. So as a conclusion, in our small ways, there are quite a number of women here, there are quite a number of men as well. Let us purposefully ensure that we are spreading the idea of young girls specializing in science, technology, engineering courses. Let's bring our young girls to appreciate STEM from early child development, the only way we are able to change the scripts 20, 30 years from now. And let us ensure that women actively take part and benefit from the opportunities presented in the digital economy. In so doing, then we are able to bring everyone along, and together we move as women, as change makers, and we are able to benefit from the benefits of the digital space. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and back to you, Madam Okoro. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and another round of applause for Dr. Margaret, Mrs. Margaret Nyambura Ndongo. Thank you very much, Mom. And so we move on to the next speaker on our list this morning. Dr. Mrs. Nonye Nwachukwu is the Director of Planning, Research and Statistics, Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy in Nigeria. She's also the driver for the Digital Girls Club and Women Connect initiative of the ministry. We now join Dr. Mrs. Nonye Nwachukwu for our next presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I want to welcome you to this great stakeholders engagement. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of my director, who unfortunately is attending to some meetings, urgent meetings. So I will read a speech to the meeting. So I will start. I am delighted to participate in this stakeholders forum holding in Lagos. The theme, Advancing Women and Girls in the Tech Ecosystem in Africa, is apt. And we thank the organizers for convening this stakeholders meeting. The digital technology sector is expanding at a fast pace, and digital technologies have become a powerful force for socio-economic development, delivering substantial benefits for both individuals and society. However, there remains a significant digital gender gap, which must be addressed to ensure that women are not being left behind. Advancing women and girls in the tech ecosystem will enhance women digital inclusion with effective participation in ICT employment and leadership, as well as expand the ICT industry demand base, thereby promoting growth and productivity. The major constraints to women access to digital technologies include affordability, relevance of digital technologies to their lives, lack of digital skills, and cultural factors. There is a need to develop strategies to address these in the light of the priority movement. That is why the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy is implementing 3 major gender inclusion initiatives aimed at delivering improving gender equality and women empowerment status in Nigeria, and ensuring gender opportunities in the digital economy sector. These initiatives are Digital Empowerment Competition and the Women Connect program. The Digital Girls Club. The Digital Girls Club is one of the initiatives designed to help Nigerian secondary school girls develop an early interest in information and communication technology and related careers. It is an online initiative. It is an online technology education initiative which has been spearheaded by the Ministry of Communications and is aimed at closing the gender digital divide that exists in the ICT sector by developing a pool of digital technology ready and enabled ecosystem for young Nigerian secondary school girls who will take up educational careers in the ICT sector. The club's activities involves weekly workshops with plenty of hands-on practice and individual team project work contained in technological modules of the club's portal and curriculum. The URI for the digital is www.digitalgate.org.ng. As part of the implementation process of the project, the ministry engaged the services of 2 technical partners, Women in Technology in Nigeria, WITIN, and Women Technology Empowerment Center, to develop, review, and update the Digital Girls Club portal and curriculum. Our second initiative is the ICT Girls Empowerment Competition. As part of its efforts to build the gender gap in the ICT and digital economy sector, the ministry organizes the annual National ICT Girls Empowerment Competition in line with the International Telecommunications Union, ITU protocol, to raise awareness on empowering and encouraging female secondary school students to discover new and innovative ways of using digital technologies in everyday life, work, and study. The objective of the empowerment competition is to provide avenue for the Nigerian girl child to exhibit her knowledge in using ICT to solve socio-economic problems in a digital-led economy. Cash prizes were given to the best 3 schools to help the students further develop their innovative ideas. Some of the innovative ideas that have come out from the initiative include CareMot, a mobile app to help combat the problem of maternal mortality. Then the second one, Smart Walker, a mobile app developed to help aid movement of blind persons in the society. The walker stick was developed to send signal to the holder in the event of obstacle or blockage on their passage, thereby preventing blind person from sustaining any injury. And the VACTIC, VACC-TIC, a mobile app that manages babies' immunization and general health to curb deformity, and death. Then we have the third one, which is the Women Connect program, which is aimed at accelerating the digital inclusion of women in Nigeria. The issue of digital gender gap has become a matter of global concern. In its 2019 Measuring Digital Development Report, the International Telecommunications Union highlighted the dangers of the widening digital gender gap in developing countries, in spite of growth in internet use, and called for urgent action to address the barriers to women's active participation in the digital economy. This aligns with the government of Nigeria aspirations for inclusive development. The objectives of the program are as follows: support stakeholders in increasing the number of women who have access to mobile phones and in the mobile internet and mobile money customer base, and by so doing, grow data and mobile money market for providers, making it a win-win for the country. Educate stakeholders on the value of driving gender equity in the ICT industry. Motivating industry-wide action with a view to closing the digital skills gap and increasing the proportion of female leaders in the ICT sector. The overarching aim of these initiatives is to increase the number of women participation in the digital economy sector and motivate industry-wide action with a view to closing the digital skills gap, thereby increasing the proportion of female leaders in the ICT industry. ITU reports have shown that ICT is a powerful means to advance women and girls' rights, empowerment, and gender equality in the 21st century. The ministry is therefore doing everything to ensure that digital technology is given prominence as a powerful means to advance women's rights, empowerment, and gender equality. Ladies and gentlemen, there is need for women and girls to have access to digital technologies and be empowered with cutting-edge skills of the fourth industrial revolution to become entrepreneurs and to have a chance to lead in the digital economy. Thus, women and girls will not be left behind. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Can we have an round of applause for our last speaker? Our next speaker is Mrs. Mary Uduma, who is the coordinator, West Africa Internet Governance Forum, WAIGF, Chairperson, Africa Internet Governance, Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group, and former convener of the Nigeria Internet Governance Forum. Can we please welcome Mrs. Mary Uduma for our next presentation? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me? All right. Thank you very much. Please, I want you to type on, if you have access to type. My name is Mary Uduma, as you have introduced me rightly. I'm the grandmother of internet governance in Nigeria, West Africa, and Africa, because I think I'm the oldest in this meeting. But I'm very happy to recognize the veterans here, Funke, Opeke, Dr. Nyambura, and Martha. Thank you very much for this opportunity for me to share with you my little experience. If you can type that you are the CEO of MTN and as the engineering department, and there's a tower that needs to be constructed or to be repaired, antenna on the tower, and you have to send your employees to go for the repairs. Can you tell me, will you send the young lady with the young men, or you choose the young men? Who should go? Who should go and repair the antenna up in the tower, the telecom tower? If you can, please tell me. That is the beginning of our of where I want us to start from. There should be a paradigm shift that Nyambura has said it at the lower level at the beginning, that the young girls should be as able, enabled, and prepared to do what the young boys should do. Me as a mother, as a grandmother, my grandchild who is a boy should do the same thing as my grandchild who is a girl. The boy should cook, the girl should play ball, the girls should look at the gadgets and try to dismantle the gadgets, not only the boys. So when you are buying toys, will you buy toys only for you buy doll, baby for the girl, and you buy robots for the boy? Please, this is where we are starting from. If we are to advance it, we are advancing it from the beginning. So for me today, I am happy that we are saying this, and we have the veterans around. We have talked about mentors. We have talked about what we have to do. But for us in West Africa, we have been targeting to see that we have more girls and women join our process, and at all times we have failed. When we run the school on internet governance, we say that we want the girls to be there, we encourage the women, and at the end of the day, we have not been able to achieve 50-50. Dr. Nyambura said it. So for that reason, how do we go? How can we advance? So advancing from the home is important. So that's my first thing I have to say. Advancing from home is important. Can we as secondary school see that both boys and girls are involved in home economics as well as the ICT lab or science lab? It's not that let's provide home economics is for the girls should do home economics. What would the boys do? The boys will do engineering, they do every other thing. Can you take the girls to carpenter workshop in the comprehensive school so that they can also learn? Can a woman drive a truck? So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because our ladies are excluded when I think Funke said something about that we are not there to give our own female perspective of everything, the gadget that is produced. For instance, the seatbelt that is produced, the seatbelt did not take into consideration the women that will be pregnant. And so no, we don't have input. Okay, to climb the ladder to go and repair antenna up in the tower, no consideration was given for women. So we should be we should be part of it. We should have we should be part of the process. Not only learning about coding, no, not coding. We know there's coding, but there are other things that are involved that we should be part of it. Okay. I also say that since we have veterans here, please, we need mentors. Funke, your name was mentioned at the Women in Nigeria IGF, where Korede said, because of you, so she had to go. She's doing a lot, and they are not holding back. So let's not hold back our girls if we are to advance these women, girls and women in technology. Another thing I want to say is that they should be in recruiting. Those of us that have opportunity to recruit, which gender is our preference? Do we give the ladies opportunity to express themselves, to advance in career? Or you'll be thinking, oh, she will go on maternity leave, she won't be able to perform. One of the ladies that spoke to us last time said that she wanted to be, she was made a head of a program or a project that she had to go and make presentation to government. And the university, she's a professor in the university. The university said, oh, no, it must be a woman that will go. It must be a man that will go to make presentation. The men went and they did not succeed. It was when it was a TED fund project. It was when she went and they did nitty-gritty. You know, we do our things. We bring nitty-gritty to our project, our food, our everything we do. So it was when she went and made the presentation and put in the salt and pepper in it that TED fund was able to grant them that. So do we discourage? Do we discourage? I am bringing out, I am asking this question because those are issues we should discuss. Those are issues that we should be looking at. Because in IGF, we talk about legal issues, we talk about sociocultural issues, we talk about infrastructure issues, we talk about development issues. So those issues, and do we involve women from the right from beginning so that they will put the gender, what would be in that they will require to in the tech industry. So again, let the women and the girls lead tech projects. Let them lead R&D, research and development, so as to bring in the feminine side of whatever we are producing, the needs to whatever gadget, device that would use in the tech industry. This is my challenge to all of us. This is a women program. So this is our challenge. And this is the way I think we can advance these women and children in tech industry. I don't want to talk about what we have done in IGF or what we have done in NIGF, but I want to challenge each and every one of us that these are things we should start with and then we'll advance. Thank you very much for allowing me to have these few minutes to speak to all of us. And I'm wishing you people a great outing. Thank you, Mata, for inviting me, and all the organizers. Thank you very much. Back to you, Okoro. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am. And that takes us on to a rendition that will close this session for us. Mrs. Gloria Anozie Young is the Executive Director Operations for NorMacGee Productions, a production digital space. An actor for over 30 years, she also produces and presents radio interactive programs. She is passionate about the interests of the girl child for the future. May we welcome Mrs. Gloria Anozie Young for this rendition.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I'm sure you can all hear me. Yes, I see that you can all hear me. Well, no one has answered, so I'm hoping that everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can.
We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Great, thank you. Thank you, better. Thank you for inviting me to this event. I'm very honored to be here. I'm not a woman in technology. I am only one who can encourage in my own little way. As you know, we artists, we are the conscience of the nation. We are the conscience of the people. And one of the things we strive to do, one of the things our social responsibility is to make sure that we encourage young girls, young boys, and everybody in society. And so my rendition is a way to encourage you all. And I go like this. Ashewere Nishaolua. The ceiling is open. There is no more despair. The path is open. Knowledge, free and fair. Technology has no gender. So arise, O women in tech. The world awaits your genius. Step by step, you will progress. But never lose your essence. Enwege lazu, aniyi pada. Babu kumawabaya. Thank you.
A round of applause, please. That's beautiful by Mrs. Gloria Anozie Young. And so we'll move on to the second part of the program, which is the session 1. And would like to bring on our first speaker for that session, Ms. Olatomiwa Williams.
Olatomiwa is an award-winning leader with experience spanning 2 decades in technology solution sales, consulting, support, channel, and people management. Ola is known for building strong teams, helping customers adopt new technologies for transformation business outcomes. Currently, she is the country manager for Microsoft Nigeria. She is very passionate about promoting gender diversity in the technology field.
And it's my pleasure to be part of this event, even though I'm not able to participate in person. But I'm glad that with technology, I still have the opportunity to be part of this very important event. Advancing women and girls in technology ecosystem is something that I'm very passionate about, and we cannot overemphasize the need to keep focusing on strategy to bridge gender parity in technology ecosystem. That is why I'm happy to support the efforts of women in technology in Nigeria to bridge the gender gap in IT field in our country. Though gender parity is not peculiar to technology industry alone, but is more pronounced in technology space due to limited participation of girls in STEM right from school. Therefore, we need to focus on addressing the core issues. We need to address areas where we can actually make sure that our girls are exposed to STEM at very early stage and they can get comfortable with STEM. We need to promote the importance of STEM and the positive impact girls can make taking on STEM subjects and pursuing STEM-related careers at early stage. We also need to encourage girls and women that do not have STEM background, that it's possible for them to do very well in technology field with the right level of support, guidance, and exposure. And we've seen different examples. I would like to make reference to Fatima Ahmed, a chemistry graduate who didn't have any idea about programming or building website, and who was unsure of her employment status post-graduation from the university. But with the skills acquired during the Women Techstars program, an initiative of Microsoft in partnership with Tech for Them, she was able to get a good foundation to progress in building a career in technology industry. And today, she's a technical support engineer, a tech expert. If we look at a PwC report on women remaining underrepresented in emerging tech highlights, that emerging tech is a critical field for women to help shape, and every day our dependence on the speed and efficiency of new technology grow. If only half of the population, which is the case today, designs technologies, users are missing out on the insights, innovations, and solutions for the other half. With women, this will foster inclusivity and help introduce new viewpoints and ideas to emerge in emerging technologies. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has created an economic crisis, forcing tens of millions of people out of work. As economics starts to open, some jobs, unfortunately, may not come back, at least not fast enough to meet the demand of unemployment. The jobs that do not come back will require more digital skills. In a post-COVID world, all people, especially those from the hardest hit industries and most vulnerable communities, which women are a huge chunk of, will need to learn new skills to rejoin the workforce prepared for in-demand roles in a more digital economy. At Microsoft, our mission is to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more. And we believe that empowering women in technology-related fields on the African continent will spur more women pursuing economic growth, equality, and innovation. We want to create a culture where more women are attracted to the tech-related field and believe in themselves as having a career path in the tech industry. For example, 2 years ago, in partnership with Tech for Dev, we started the Women Techstars journey and piloted with the Nigerian Women Techstars program, where we had the opportunity to take the program to 12 states in Nigeria and directly impacted 2,475 women with new technology skills and helping to change the narrative of women not just being users of technologies, but creators of technologies. We are also working with organizations across Nigeria to sponsor young women who want to take on IT career into our LEAP program, an initiative of Microsoft that provides intensive apprenticeship program, forging new pathways for diverse candidates into tech careers. We encourage our employees as well to take on initiatives to support women in IT field. For example, one of our employees, Eduabasi Chukwuweke, co-founded Wentos, an NGO providing mentoring platform for female talent in IT. Before I close, I would like to encourage everyone to join forces to ensure that we are making concerted effort to bring gender divide in technology. Everyone needs to get involved. Government, policymakers, NGOs, corporate organizations. We need to encourage more girls to take on STEM early on in their education and provide a pathway for young women to take opportunity in tech career irrespective of their background. I'm always available to provide more details on Microsoft initiative to support gender equality in IT field. Thank you everyone and enjoy the rest of the day.
Very much for an excellent presentation. So we move on to Mrs. Odunnayo Sanya. Odunnayo's work experience spans the education, banking, development, and telecommunications sectors in Nigeria. She currently serves as the Executive Secretary of the MTN Foundation in Nigeria. She's an author, a certified coach, speaker, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, a DDI Development Dimensions International Certified Facilitator, a Maxwell DIFC Certified Trainer. She's also a certified PROSCI Change Management Practitioner. Welcome, Mrs. Odunnayo Sanya, for our next presentation.
Thank you very much. It is afternoon, everyone. My apologies, I won't turn on my video just because I don't want the bandwidth to be affected. But I'd like to say congratulations to the women in technology in Nigeria for today's in Nigeria and Africa. You know, for today's outing, I have listened, and I think for me, it's about building resilient women in the African digital workforce. A lot has been said about. I'm not putting up slides, but I believe that you would follow through, and then we'll land together in a good place. A lot has been said about women in technology, girls in technology. And just to piggyback on what Mrs. Mary Uduma said, and it's good to see you again, ma'am, and the work you're doing, you know, is fantastic. We need girls to be in tech. A lot has been said, and I think it comes from culture. There's a lot of stereotype around women in technology. And it is important. We see WEF had mentioned that they're the skills of the future, but they're no longer the skills of the future. They're the skills of now. And there's certain things we must do. We must transit into the digital way of doing things, you know, in terms of education, in terms of the working place. And you find that it's becoming very important to build, you know, resilient women in the African digital workspace. History has it, research has it that, you know, women do a lot of unpaid work. The stereotypes keep women, you know, at bay right from school. But I think we exist at a very unique time in the history of mankind, where with mainstreaming organizations, whether corporate or social organizations, even governments are beginning to streamline, you know, female participation, bridging the gender gap in the workplace across professions. And so 3 things I would say to build resilient women in the African digital workspace. The first thing, I would piggyback on what Mrs. Uduma said. How do we involve women from a very tender age? A lot of us, we've been formed by the experiences that we grew up with. Some people didn't go into sciences just because someone told them, oh, you know what, it is not a woman's thing to do. It's for men. We need to go back and fix the curriculum, because the reason I'm going back to that is because we need to build a pipeline for the workforce of the future. we need to begin to get a lot of women into the pipeline. And how do we get them? Is through the curriculum. We must make it available to both genders. I'm a believer that, you know, what a man can do, a woman can do better. And so for me, it's about the fact that we must encourage our ladies to step up. And I'll give you an example. With the MTN Foundation, we roll out STEM scholarships. We focus on STEM and the blind. We give scholarships to Nigerians that are also blind at university level. We do that because we believe that technology is key if we're to advance as a country and as a people. But what we found over the years is that the bulk of the applications is largely male. And so 3 years ago, we decided to say, you know what, if you're already in STEM, then you need to step up. And so we began to focus our efforts around how do we get more women, more ladies in the universities to apply for the scholarships. And till date, we've recorded about a 30% increase in the number of, and of course, how did we do this? By engaging women platforms, sharing information on how they could, you know, go about doing this. So the curriculum is very important for the girl child to participate. And I think, like I said, where it's a good time to be alive and to be a woman, because everyone is focusing, in quote, on us at this time. The second thing in the workplace is the culture. How do we work? It's important for organizations to have a culture that enables people to thrive as human beings, not as one gender or the other. So we must have a culture, and culture is very important, because if you miss your culture, your strategy can fall face down. And that's why I think it was, I'm trying to remember his name. He said, you know, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And so what culture do we have in our organizations is very key. I know recently in my organization, we extended maternity leaves from, it used to be 3 months maternity leave and 1 month on paid leave, but now it's up to 6 months. And I think you get paid for about 4 months out of it. That is the culture. People should not be put back because they're female. It should be a culture that opens to all. The culture whereby you are regarded first as an individual and not just your gender. And the reason I say this is because I know it's been said before, there are skills that women alone bring to the workforce. There's skills that if you want to, you know, they bring, if you want a product to do well, interview women, have a focus group, and get the views of the women into your product design. And you see that at the end of the day, the product does well. So we're unique. And so it's important for organizations to understand it and create a culture that enables this. We've heard of organizations in Nigeria that have creches. So when people are resuming, they can resume with their children. It's taken a lot for those organizations to do that. But you know what? They understand that it's important to have the women to concentrate, to have them at work 100% of the time. And so these are some of the things that we can begin to do. Push your women forward in the organization. So I'll still use MTN as an example. Aside from the maternity leave, we also even have paternity leave, but it's just in days, a few days, and the man can stay with his newborn baby and come back to work. But for the woman, it's extended. In MTN, we're focusing, you know, mainstreaming gender, the female gender, to say that and we've set ourselves, even at group level, we've set ourselves a target to say we must have women, equal number of women in the leadership, the various leadership teams across the various countries. And, you know, it was pleasing listening to Mrs. Opeke again. She happened to be MTN Nigeria's first female CTO, if I remember very well. I was in MTN, and I'm still in MTN. I was there then. And subsequently, we've gone on to have another female, you know, female CTO, even though that's in the area of tech. But women have done it and did it excellently well. Our CMO is female. We have quite a number of female people female leaders in the leadership team. And I think this is important for organizations that will grow. If you look at the skills for the future, a lot of those skills are skills that by virtue of being a woman, we already have. And so organizations, a lot of organizations now are seeking, to push, to bridge the gender gap and push women forward. But culture is important, a culture where, whether you're male or you're female, it doesn't matter. It's about the dignity of the human being. And so a culture where, everyone, a candid culture where people can speak up, where people are not put down because of their gender is very important. And research has shown that organizations that go on like that, they tend to do better. I was going through a research and it said it was about funding for female entrepreneurs. And it said for every dollar given to the female entrepreneur, it returned $3 more than the $1 given to a male entrepreneur. So I think organizations that are forward-looking need to see that this really is the future. It's about completing the organization. So that's the second thing I'd like to say. The third thing I'd also like to say is that when we talk about female exclusion, we talk about it a lot of times like we're victims, but we're not. But the thing I'm about to talk about is that we might be victims of what we have created. And I always say this whenever I sit with women and we talk. And the first thing I want to ask is, who raises the men? Who raises these men that come out in the workplace and they don't want to give women a chance? We have a lot to do as women, right from the home. We need to begin to raise, our sons the right way, giving them a right perspective. I see, Clara, my time is almost up. That's if it's not up, but I'm rounding up. To see that, we are equal in the way that we've been created. And so women have a lot of work to do. If we do this very well from the home, I dare say, the young men will grow up with it. They will understand that, look, it's not about gender, but it's about being a human being first. And so I have 3 daughters, but the way that I'm not raising my daughter as a girl. I'm raising her to be a dignified global citizen, regardless of whether you're a girl or you're a boy. And so I think those are some of the things we can do. But for organizations, culture is very important. And I think it's important to also create platforms for women. A lot of organizations now are having their female networks, and I've had the opportunity to sit with some of them. In MTN, we also have our female network. We call it the Way, the Women at Yellow. So we have the female network where we read together, we have masterminds together, book reviews together. We solve business problems together as women. And that has given us a voice, within the organization. I think those are some of the things that organizations can do and also we can do as women to create a safe space for our ladies and our women, in the digital workspace. Thank you very much for having me, Women WITIN. That's the short. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And another round of applause for Mrs. Odunnayo, Sanya. It was an excellent presentation, and yes, more power to the girl child. So we'll move on now to our next presenter, Mrs. Aderonke Christine Adeyegbe. Mrs. Aderonke Adeyegbe is the Managing Director of Commercio Cloud Computing, Nigeria's leading indigenous cloud company. She has over 2 decades post-qualification experience spanning business strategy, business development, client management, sales, and marketing. Welcome, Mrs. Aderonke Christine Adeyegbe, for our next presentation.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me at this fantastic opportunity to talk about women in tech and the African continent, at large. We women in tech, I'd like to contribute to all the lovely things that have been said this morning, have very unique experiences and journeys. But one thing that's is certain is that all of us, forging a career path in a male-dominated sector like ours requires a lot of resilience, optimism, mental toughness, and unwavering self-confidence. One important angle that I'd like to highlight is the importance of community. Knowing that there are people who believe in you is translate to persevering alone. Communities and positive mentorship also help, to own this superpower. It is important that younger generation, the younger women are also encouraged. And in societies like ours, where you find that traditional gender roles are still widely considered to be the norm, young girls are still being expected, they're held to.
Was an excellent presentation. Rakiya Mohammed is a civil servant. Mrs. Mohammed is a civil servant and a certified IT business manager, chief information security officer, and a certified enterprise and solution architect. She has worked in various environments spanning financial, telecommunications, and technology with over 25 years experience, of which over 15 years were in top leadership roles. She has a passion for mentoring young girls in the field of ICT. Would like to welcome Mrs. Rakiya Mohammed for our next presentation.
Thank you very much. I will just be quick. I am at the airport. I missed the earlier meeting. What I just want to tell our young girls is when I started my career, I went with the mind to serve. I wasn't expecting so much in return, but automatically when you are there to serve people, everything just falls into place. And I didn't go there thinking that I'm a lady, I'm a woman, therefore I will not have the same opportunities like the men had. I worked hard and delivered what I was supposed to deliver. I was always surpassing the expectations of my bosses. And ironically, almost through my career, the people who really encouraged me and uplifted me were men. But it came with the realization that you will deliver when they ask you to deliver. Even when they don't ask you, you go out of your way to make your bosses shine. And you are not, unlike men, and you are not expecting so much in return. So when you walk into a workplace, put in your best, study as much as you can, improve yourself, forget the idea that you are a woman or a man. Just deliver what you are supposed to deliver, and everything will fall into place. I do have women that are working under me, and I tell them one thing all the time, that this thing that will come today, they are sick tomorrow, they have to travel next tomorrow. People will not depend on you. I do recognize that there are challenges with us as women, because we have to also take care of the home, and the men will leave everything. They would come back, you will come back to work together, in your house, and they expect that you will cook and clean the house while you are there also standing and working throughout the day. But we waded through it, and we can see the reward now. That is what has uplifted us and taken us to the positions where we are in. And that's what I keep telling all the young girls and women that I work with, that I come across from anywhere, that just work hard, improve yourself, and forget the fact that anybody is going to downplay your capability as a woman, because you are just as capable as anybody else. And just go there to serve people and work as hard as you can. That's the much I can say. I do hope I will have another opportunity to speak to you and tell you a full story about my life and how I found myself to be the Director of IT at Central Bank of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
We would now like to invite Mrs. Iklima Musa, who is the SA Special Advisor to the DG NITDA on Strategy and Innovation. Welcome, Mrs. Iklima Musa, for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Can we have a team round of applause to welcome her?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for inviting NITDA. The DG of NITDA had planned to be here, but unfortunately at the 11th hour, he had an urgent assignment to attend to. It is a delight for me to speak to you today on a very important topic that I am quite passionate about, and the theme also on advancing women and girls in the tech ecosystem in Africa is apt and necessary. Permit me to draw out a quote from Erin Teague, which says, recognize and embrace your uniqueness. Being a Black woman, being a woman in general, on a team of all men means that you're going to have a unique voice. It's important to embrace that. It is worthy to note that the Nigerian technology sector is doing considerably well, owing to its contribution to the overall GDP of the nation. I will proudly say that the tech ecosystem is for women. The innovativeness, resilience, empathy, courage of a woman are undoubtedly unique characters that build the technology innovation ecosystem. Nigeria has been fortunate to be endowed with many women that are technology Amazons in their own fields. There are many Nigerian women that have contributed to the success of the technology ecosystem today. Time wouldn't permit me to mention a lot of them, but I would like to mention one, which is Ms. Funke Opeke of MainOne, who provided the first internet broadband for Yaba Tech, thereby laying the foundations of Nigeria's startup revolution. Despite the potential of women to contributing to the digital ecosystem today, still, we constitute the minority. A survey of 93 technology firms by One Campaign and the Center for Global Development has shown that there is only about 30% of women participation, and we're mostly concentrated in e-commerce and enterprise solutions. Out of the 93 surveyed firms, only 6 had a woman in the top management position. Was still, more than 1/3 of the surveyed tech firms employed no woman at all. Therefore, with these statistics, the lack of women participation in various sectors, including the tech ecosystem today, is alarming. But the question is, why are women participation underrepresented? There are well-known challenges of women career progression in Africa, such as cultural barriers, patriarchal norms, and stereotypes, as well as low participation in the study of STEM programs, such as engineering, computer science, applied technologies, and the rest. However, at NITDA, in trying to bridge the digital divide, we are saddled with the responsibility to develop and regulate the IT sector, have been at the forefront of increasing women participation and building their confidence in IT. I'm going to mention a few of these programs and initiatives that we've been doing, one of which is we're currently working on a gender digital inclusion policy. This policy will ensure that in every digital intervention project, program, or event sponsored by the agency, a minimum of 30% of women must be represented. The agency also collaborates with relevant stakeholders and partners to assist women and youths in entrepreneurship. Part of our digital transformation initiative under our strategic roadmap and action plan 2021 to 2022 is a program for people living with disability and other digitally excluded people like women. We also have the ICT Technical Vocational Education Training, TVET, for youths and women across the nation to enhance digital literacy and skills. Training of women in ICT and entrepreneurship, where laptops, internet dongles, and various software packages are distributed. We also have the Catch Them Young program that is done to kids on artificial intelligence and robotics. This is facilitated by our subsidiary, the National Center for AI and Robotics. We also continue to support a lot of programs like this. Please permit me to also mention that our DG is a he for she. So he is also very keen about programs that has to do with the development of women. Additionally, there is also a whole government approach to addressing these issues. There is a gender equality bill at the National Assembly that is set to address these imbalances. Some of our recommendations are women and girls should be made more aware of the tech ecosystem and the opportunities that lies in it. I mean, like I mentioned from the beginning, there are so many opportunities and there are a lot of things that we could do within that space. The conscious mentorship of every succeeding woman to bring up more women within the space. I think it was one of the things that was also mentioned by one of the speakers. Women should also hold each other accountable for inclusion in various sectors of the economy. The He for She campaign should be done to increase acceptance by gender, because already even in offices, when you find yourself in the technology ecosystem or another engineering place, for instance, petrochemical, you know, they tend to look at you as, oh, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be elsewhere. You know, there are some particular courses that are meant for women. So of course, you know, men will also have to be part of this. There has to also be a non-discriminatory and equal access to digital technologies in rural and urban areas across the nation. The support and invest in the provision of safe and accessible public access facilities where women and girls can learn to use the internet and also access all kinds of resources. Strengthen protection measures and reporting procedures to protect women and girls against abuse and harassment. These include introducing legal and policy frameworks that recognizes and addresses ICT-mediated abuses, harassment, and fraud, and through measures that promote access to justice. So permit me to also mention that I was in Kigali, I think a few weeks ago, and you know, I was so amazed with what I have seen so far. You know, they have a lot of policies in place, and that the first top three positions in any institution across Kigali, one must be occupied by a woman. You know, so we need to also look at this across Africa. We would also need to support and promote female role models in the digital sector. And we can also organize some kind of award ceremonies for girls within schools that are performing exceptionally well to motivate them to be part of some STEM programs. Then we need to also concentrate on SDG 5, which is gender equality to close the gap in rights to access and leadership. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Can we have a round of applause once again for Mrs. Iklima? Absolutely beautiful. Next speaker, Professor Virginia Ebere Ejiofor, who is a lecturer in the Department of Computer Science, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State. Professor Ejiofor is also the National Vice President of Nnamdi Azikiwe University Alumni Association, as well as in various university committees. She has served as council member to the 2 IT professional bodies in Nigeria, Nigeria Computer Society, NCS, and Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, CPN. She is a fellow of Nigeria Computer Society, British Computer Society, and Institute of Corporate Administration of Nigeria. She's presently the technical advisor, JAM, for Anambra State, and she is a great lover of God Almighty and humanity. Join me in welcoming Professor Virginia Ebere Ejiofor for our next presentation. A round of applause to welcome her, please.
Thank you so much, moderator. I appreciate that. Welcome. I want to appreciate the founder and CEO of WITIN for her efforts. She has been on top of the game, and she's so passionate about girls in technology, women in technology. People like her need to be supported. I also want to appreciate her for the platform given to me to just throw in few words on this team, which says advancing women and girls in the tech ecosystem in Africa, with the sub-team Future of Work and Digital Opportunities for African Women, Evidence from Research. Just like the brief citation said, I've been teaching and mentoring students in the university environment since 1997. And from my brief statistics, I've noticed that in a class of maybe about 100, you find out that only 1/3 of that class is female. So that shows that we are still back, or we are still, not where we are supposed to be as far as that parity is concerned. Let us look at some statistics. UNESCO in 2007 reported that women represent only 35% of all students enrolled in STEM-related fields of higher education. And only in the critical initiative, the proportion of women using the internet is just 12%, lower than the proportion of men using the internet worldwide. Then globally, men are 33% more likely than women to have access to the internet. The gap even worsens when focusing on women in poor communities. Women are also, lagging behind as far as developing, the development in the tech skills. Another research also says that only 1.4% of female workers have job developing, maintaining, or operating ICT systems compared to 5.5% of male workers. And then while women represent 60% of university graduates overall, that is overall, both in the sciences and in the non-sciences, they account for only 30% of graduates in science, technology, engineering, and math, which is the STEM fields. And you know that most of the women, they are found in the maybe education faculty, in the arts faculty, or in the social sciences. Then let me go straight to the future of work because of time. When we talk about future of work, it describes the changes in how work will be done over the next decade, which is usually influenced by technological, generational, and social shifts. We can also say that it is a projection of how work, even the workers and the workplace, will evolve in the years ahead. From research, it has been proven that the future of work relies so much on technology, with the following characteristics. One, the future of work is balanced. That means for women, there are other works or there are other jobs, non-paying jobs that we do, like taking care of the home, taking care of our children, taking care of our husbands. We combine these things with our job. So we need to balance, it needs to be balanced in the future. Remember, technology will be at the focal point in the future of work. Then another characteristic of the future of work is that it is remote. That means wherever the woman is, the woman can still work. Wherever the woman is, whether in the remote villages, where there are access to internet, the woman can still do work. The future of work is also flexible. That means as you are doing the work, you can also combine it with some other activities. It's also very authentic. That means when you are doing the work, you have to have confidence in yourself about the delivery of work. And finally, the future of work is entrepreneurial. These days, we find a lot of women going into entrepreneurship. They own their own companies, they own their own industries, and they do this effectively well. Then the future says that when these women have access to these technological devices, technological platforms, they will indeed do very, very well and contribute to the economy of nations. There are three basic elements to consider in the future of work. Three very basic elements. Number one, how is the work done? Is there a combination of both machine and human beings, or just human beings alone? Number two, who does the work? Is it full automation or is it semi-automation? And then where and when the work is done. These are the three basic things to consider when we talk about the future of work. in the next decade, in the next 2 decades. There are opportunities that are available to women in technology, or digital opportunities for women or African women. Digital technologies could help women access new markets, work flexibly and distantly. They can also acquire and interact with their customers. They can also receive training and provide mentoring. Because wherever they are, you are connected. You can be connected to any person, no matter where the person is on this globe. So we have access to new markets and we can utilize it. Even while we are taking care of our homes, of our children, we can as well do our work. The waves of technological innovation, it not only displaces or changes the nature of many occupations, but also creates entirely new ones. Yes, some jobs, that are usually routine jobs, they may be lost through automation. But there are semi-automation that will also take place. And through that, more jobs can as well be created. And women can as well key into these new jobs because they can telework. They can work from anywhere. They can work from home. So it gives us a flexible environment. Also, digital platforms and the flexibility and even the low access costs they offer also help to explain why so many women will become e-commerce entrepreneurs. Yes, many women, they like this day. I have a young girl who just graduated from the university. She's not even looking for a white-collar job. She has set up her own industry, has a good name to that, and she's making waves. She has her own website where she advertises her goods and her services, and she's really getting patronage. The technology can also break down many of the barriers facing women, opening up new economic opportunities, like barrier of distance, barrier of combining so many things. Because we women, we multitask, but technology has also broken down that barrier. The women are now working independently in what is popularly known as the gig economy. The gig economy, as we know, just contract economy. It's not on a permanent basis. You can do your work. You can hire somebody for maybe 1 week, 2 days. That is gig economy. It is very, very flexible. Then the future of work will likely require people to work more closely with technology, just like I've said. People will need to work more closely with technology. AI will be at the forefront in the future of work. Women need to be more engaged in technology. That's my own input now. Women need to be more engaged in technology. We need to have more access to technology. We need to, get more skills, acquire more skills. We need to also participate in the creation of some of these technologies, even in the software development. We need to participate because we need to bring in the women aspect, the gender aspect of it that can also help us. So as I was saying, women need to be helped. From the previous speakers, I heard them right. These days we have just very few NGOs who are even interested in helping women to acquire technology skills. And we want to appreciate and applaud WITIN. WITIN is really doing a lot in that aspect. Let me lend my voice to other speakers that have even said something like that before. So kudos to WITIN, and we pray that God will open doors and grant them help, that they will also bring up women in this technology era. Then we also need to prepare for the opportunities we seek, so that when the opportunity presents itself, you are ready. As women, we are talking about give us opportunity, give us access to this, give us access to that. Are we really prepared? In the future of work, these opportunities will present themselves. But we need to, as a matter of fact, and as a matter of urgency now, to start undertaking and acquiring the skills, getting ourselves prepared, getting ourselves ready for these opportunities that will present themselves in the very near future. The former speaker, or maybe the person before her, mentioned that women should acquire skills. I quite agree with her. Women should undertake training. I quite agree with her. But there will be some limitations to that. We need mentors. We need sponsored programs. That is, programs that can be fully sponsored, because some of them, lack of access to funds may be a limitation. So we need sponsors to enable these women to acquire these skills and these trainings. So in as much as these trainings can be undertaken online, we need to assist women to get up to where they are supposed to be. And then in order for women to have better working conditions tomorrow, they must be shaped today. if you look at the statistics, a greater number of our men are occupying our tech jobs. A greater number of them are occupying our tech jobs. But we need to shape ourselves as women. We need to shape ourselves as women so that at least we will come up to the level where we'll be at par or even at near par with the men. Then I want to conclude by saying that there are 3 basic elements to consider in the future of work. 3 basic elements to consider in the future of work. One of them is how the work is done. How is that work done? Number 2 is who does that work. Then number 3, where and when the work is done. Then to prepare ourselves for the future of work, there are 3 things that are very key. Number 1, we need to embrace digital innovation. Number 2, we need to create new goals and vision, because without vision, I think somebody might be working aimlessly. We need to create new goals for this future of work. We need to create vision and we need to be focused. Then finally, when these 2 things are in place, we need to train our workforce. We need to train the women so that when these opportunities present themselves, we will catch up and we grab them. Thank you so much for your attention.
Can we have a round of applause for Professor Rendition? But thank you very much, Mom. As always. Move on to our next presenter, and she's about
all distinguished speakers and ladies and gentlemen here, thank you for being here and having me. I want to thank my husband specially. I'm bringing him along. Thank you for joining us here physically. Thank you so much. Well, that's what it takes. Let's bring our husbands, let's bring our spouses, let's bring our children on board. Charity begins at home. Well, thank you so much. How do we thrive as women in this technological age? No joining technology is not an option. I hear some people say, I don't do internet banking, no. Everything I have to go to the bank physically to do it, because the fraudsters will take my money. There is no option. You have to learn it. You have to be there. And women, we have to take charge. We have to be there. So there's no being behind the man and allowing the man to get ahead of us technologically. Let's start putting ourselves out there. And of course, it's not competing with the men, but as all speakers have said, women are a small percentage of those in the technological space. So when there are scholarships, we don't get it. When there's education, we don't get it. Those who have put themselves out there, they will take those opportunities. So start now. If you don't have internet banking, start getting internet banking. If you don't have Zoom, get Zoom. If you don't know how to use Zoom, set it up. I will help you. All right. Thank you so much. Now I want to quote a very popular speaker, a motivational speaker that I follow. Her name is Marisa Peer. She talks a lot about the state of our mind and who we are. The starting point, really, of any great woman, whether in technology or any field, is really, woman, know thyself. Know your strength, be sound in your mind, and know that you are enough. You are enough. You are filled and bestowed with talents. Your talents are enough. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are useful. I want us as women to realize we are enough. Because sometimes we feel we're second class, we are lower, we are not enough, we are not capable. But please let that be a shift in our mindset today and going forward. And please tell that to all other women. We are enough. Now, what other things can we do to enable ourselves? Let's have a plan. Have a plan. Where are you today? Where do you want to go? Technologically now, not just speaking, you know, we're talking about technology. Where are you? What's your technological skill today? What skill do you need? Where are you going to? How do you get there? Now, if you don't know how to develop a plan, there are many women here in this room and in this stage today, in this stakeholder forum that can help you. A solid, smart plan will teach you how to go from where you are to where you need to be. Please don't be afraid to ask. And I want to thank WITIN for being there. So I was saying, have a solid, smart plan. I think sometimes without a good plan, we don't really know where we are or where we want to go. But there are many women in this house. Please put yourself out there. If you are in school, ensure that when you're, whatever you do in school, you leave a lasting legacy. There are small groups, pull small groups of women together and start to do something from school. Mahatma Gandhi said, let us be the change that we want to see. Be the change you want to see. So if there's an association and somewhere to volunteer yourself, please don't hide behind, volunteer yourself and make a change there. Now, I want to just summarize a few other actions very, very quickly that we can take. Now, it says entrepreneurship. We are encouraging a lot of women entrepreneurs, but everybody may not be an entrepreneur. Some of you just might be people that have the ideas. If you have an idea that can help a woman, if you have an idea that can help a woman to move her manual business to a digital platform, companies like mine, I work for Total Logic and we're a software development company. So companies like mine can make that a reality, bringing your idea into a technological solution. If there's a market woman out there and you feel like we can help her, there's an idea I have, but I don't know how to develop it, to make her products to reach people in different parts of the state, you know, the country. Tell people like us, and we'll walk through what it takes to bring that solution from idea to solution. If we start to put our ideas, we can transform this nation. And women, we can do it. Now, the other thing is we've talked so much and many speakers have talked about education. But again, we have a lot of digital awareness going on right now, digital literacy. But there's still some aspect that I think we are not covering well enough. And that's also been discussed today. Artificial intelligence, course technical skills, artificial intelligence, cyber security, robotics, and some of all those technical skills. Please, we also need to ensure that we are encouraging women to participate in these technical skills. As I wrap up, I want to kind of summarize again some of what I have said. Put yourself out there, volunteer yourself. Let the change start with you. Go online and start to use Zoom. Let's learn how to make our conferences technically sound. Let's volunteer and do things with WITIN and partner with associations that are already doing things. That's one. Two, entrepreneurship. Bring your ideas to Total Logic. Total Logic will help you to develop it further. I'm happy to write a functional specification for anyone who wants to develop an app, and my company will happily do that. And finally, you are enough. You are capable and you are enough. Thank you so much, women.
I don't think it's a round of applause. I'm very much excited with this presentation. Thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. That's been an amazing and succinct presentation. And I think we really need to give another round of applause to Mrs. Chizoba Onoha. The direct invitation to everyone watching to escalate any ideas they have if you're a woman and you don't feel you have the capacity. She's offering you a byline to be able to do that. Have enough confidence to believe that the solution you're bringing to the table could actually be the turning point to a solution that could be a game changer in the country. We're in the fourth industrial revolution era. Everything we need to do now is supposed to be solution driven, and we need to begin to actualize our ideas to get to that point. About yesterday, we learned that the National Assembly has agreed to actually digitize the elections and make card reading part of the elections. And I think we really need to give a lot of credence to that advantage. So we now move on to our next speaker, Ms. Fafore Nilola Mary. Fafore Nilola Mary is currently the Public Relations Director for Huawei Technologies Company Nigeria Limited. She is the first female Internet Protocol Call Center certified expert engineer in Nigeria by Huawei Technologies. Welcome, Fafore Nilola Mary, for our next presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Nihilola Fafore. I am the Director of Public Relations Department of Huawei Nigeria. Huawei, as we all know, is a leading ICT company in the whole world. And Huawei is in over 108 countries all over the world. However, Huawei has been in Nigeria since 1999 till now, and we are not stopping here. We're going to remain here. And for the past 21 years, we have actually been able to produce over 21,000 engineers, inclusive of women. The topic before us is advancing women and girls in the tech ecosystem in Africa. So we know Huawei is in a lot of Africa countries, inclusive of Nigeria. And Nigeria is one of the biggest markets in West Africa. So now in Nigeria, we have done quite a lot. Like I said earlier on, we have produced over 21,000 engineers, and these engineers have now been exported to West Africa and even other continents globally. They're doing so well, inclusive of women, I say. Not just that, for the past, since 2015, we have started a lot of training programs and projects in Nigeria. And due to this project, we have provided state-of-the-art equipment to over 79 universities and institutions in Nigeria. And because of this platform, we have produced about 17,000 youths in Nigeria, and they're doing so well. And that is going to bring us to the fact that Nigeria is going to be a leading technology hub in Africa. And that tells you that we're going to translate our economy not just from the oil and gas sector dependency, but into ICT. And you can see a lot of results where we have software companies in Nigeria having to sign, with leading companies globally. So that is not just that. I remember we actually had what we call the Female Empowerment Program, which we started with the former Minister of Communication. I think that was Mrs. Omobola Johnson. We signed, and then we trained over 10,000 females in the industry, not just the technology industry, even from different institutions and universities. We trained them for a couple of months. And at the end of that program, we had 10 of these best girls travel to China, and they competed with other countries. I'm talking about Russia, talking about United States, a lot of them were there. And do you believe that Nigerian women, these girls surprised us and they came first in this global competition? So since 2015, we have started and we're continuing with this program. I remember last year, I think 2019, we also had students from Zaria, Kaduna, and the rest, and they actually went for the same competition. They were first in Sub-Saharan, but as of last year, they came top globally again. So this had the results that we have seen that Huawei has brought to Nigeria as a whole, and we're not stopping there. So one of the things we're also trying to do to empower and bridge this gap for girls to know that it is really nothing difficult. A lot of your friends are doing this, and you need to actually participate. Whether you're in the institution or you are not, please access this. Go to www.huawei.com and you will see all the courses. You can even learn on your own. I'm going to use this platform to encourage every girl, every lady. We're all women. As long as you're from 18, you're a woman actually. However, please take your time, log on to our website, www.huawei.com. And I can tell you, there's so many courses we have there, and that we're competing globally. We have what we call the Huawei Authorized Information and Network certifications. We have them all there. It's an academy for you. You have the professional level, you have the expertise level, you have the basic level. And as of last year during this COVID, we had some of these instructors from the university. During the COVID, they were able to get over 100 students from different schools, inclusive of Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos, so many states in Nigeria. And they were successful in terms of delivering most of these courses online. It was really a fantastic opportunity for all the students that had access to that. So as a lady, I want to encourage you to please don't look back. A lot of us are here, and you can see we are really doing well. We need more of you. We have a lot of you already, but we still need to encourage our friends, our mothers, our sisters, and every girl child out there. When you empower a girl child, you actually empowering a nation. And from what I know and for what is happening in every family, when their mothers are very literate, you realize that a lot of the children have opportunity to many skills they can acquire, and they do very well in the academy. All right, ladies, I also want to remind you that this is not just for one person or just for the few women you have listened to already and the ones after me. However, you watching me out there needs to understand that we are waiting for you here. And you have all the opportunities to be able to access the technology, irrespective of your industry or sector. It doesn't really matter. But what matters is the fact that technology has come to stay, and that is going to be able to take you far beyond your expectation. ICT is what it is, and it is better for everyone. So at this point, my name still remains Nihilala Fafare, the Director of Public Relations, Department of Huawei, Nigeria. I'll see you soon. I made at the top. We love you. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right. Thank you very much. Can we have an round of applause? But it was very accurate, succinct, and straight to the point. So we go on to our next speaker, who's already in the house with us. Ms. Opeoluwa Oposun is a lawyer with over 18 years experience and has successfully led the execution of several technology projects in her career. She currently works with Oracle as a deal manager. Welcome, Ms. Opeoluwa Oposun, for our next presentation.
Thank you very much. It's indeed an opportunity, to be here today, to speak at this great event. So I've also listened to the speakers, and I would say that I really learned a lot from what has been said so far today. So as a woman, as an African woman, in the tech ecosystem, how do we thrive in the tech ecosystem? I would say that, one of the ways we can actually thrive, is by actually giving back to the society. And when I talk about giving back to the society, what precisely am I talking about? So what I'm saying is this: we're African women, in the tech space. We are, apart from our jobs, apart from our careers, apart from our businesses, for the entrepreneurs amongst us, we need to come out of our comfort zone. We need to actually, come out to do something to impact, to personally impact positively in the area of technology. So basically what I'm saying is this. Firstly, as women in the tech space, we are really opportuned to be there. However, we can have a look at the society, have a look at our community, identify an area of need in the area of technology, we can try to work towards creating an improvement in that area of need in our society. We can actually work with individuals, we can work with organizations, that are in sync, with our intentions, and collaborate with these organizations or individuals, as the case may be, towards making a difference, in the tech space. Also, as women in technology, as women in Africa, strong women who are doing very well in the tech space, we can actually volunteer our skills and services. Amongst us, we have the programmers, we have the STEM educators, we have the web developers, and we have those who are not technical in nature, that are also in the tech space, and do have great soft skills. And we can actually volunteer these skills, volunteer these services, team up with organizations, like Women in Technology, that are helping to empower young girls and women, team up with them and offer our services to them for free. Also, as women, we need to, for those of us that are really, really experienced in the tech space, we can actually come out there, to mentor somebody, mentor someone, join a mentorship program, because honestly, there are so many young people out there, for instance, the young people out there who, would like to navigate, from their current careers to a career in technology, but they're confused, they have no clue of how to go about it. They don't have, they're really confused on what to do, basically. There's so many young girls out there who do not have the confidence, who do not have the courage, to take up STEM subjects. So as experienced women in technology, we should mentor somebody, and it's actually very interesting to the tech space. We should showcase, I mean by this, we need to help. The digital opportunities are increasing by the day, but the reality is that we are still far behind. We are not there yet. So as women, we need to come out. We need to do something. Yes, we have our jobs. Yes, we have our careers that are giving us this income, but we need to come out there to do something different, outside our work, towards impacting in the area of technology. And then, probably the final point, I'll give is that we need to keep giving and keep giving. And what do I mean by this? The truth is that everything is done with money. For those of us who can, try to donate funds, try to donate funds, try to come out to sponsor, to sponsor programs, workshops, towards the advancement of women and girls in technology. If you can, for instance, for those of you who's got great space, who's got properties, offer your properties for events, that are for events, or help to provide media sponsorship. I'll give an instance. There are so many organizations, non-for-profit organizations, that are helping to develop the skills of women, and young girls. Women in Technology in Nigeria, for instance, is one. In as much as, yes, it's a non-for-profit organization, the reality is that, they carry out a lot of training workshops, they develop a lot of young girls and women, in STEM areas, in STEM subjects. They initiate a lot of events, programs, towards empowering young people, towards empowering women, towards empowering girls, and of course, all these arrangements, all these activities, yes, it's there to foster technology in our economy, is there to help improve somebody, but it also comes at a cost. So we need to try to donate, we need to try to give out, towards helping these organizations. Well, I'll just use myself as an example. I'm a lawyer. I'm not even a technical person, but of course, I found myself somehow in the tech space. So along the line, I've been able to understand how technology works, but apart from my job, apart from working in Oracle, a very great organization, a very wonderful organization that promotes women and girls in technology, I also initiated a project called Project Start Young in Technology. And what I do is to go around to schools, especially in areas where we have underprivileged children who do not have the opportunity to the necessary technology teaching aids or to basic technology. I go out there to create awareness, to sensitize them, on pursuing careers in technology. We also carry out, I also partner with, people, individuals who are also technically inclined, to teach these children, to give them, to empower them, giving them the basic knowledge in technology. And believe you me, when you come out there as a woman to create, to impact positively in the area of technology, what it does is that it not only helps to shape, shape up, the world around us. It doesn't help. It not only helps to shape up, the area of technology in our continent. It not only helps to create a change. My speech, this is a clarion call for all women in technology and for the great men, of course, that are supporting us to please come out of your comfort zone, take an action towards personally creating an impact in the area of technology today. Thank you.
Now we move on to our next presentation, and I must commend Ms. Funke Akimbi-Shehin for waiting patiently with us. I'm extremely very grateful, ma'am. Funke Akimbi-Shehin, PM Africa, founder and product manager at FutureLearn, is an IT professional with vast experience within the financial, telecommunication, digital health, e-commerce, edtech industries, focusing on all aspects of product development and management. We welcome for her presentation, Ms. Funke Akimbi-Shehin. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi, I hope you can hear me. I'm actually mobile. I'm on the road now. I actually was going to drop off at 1:10 because I have a GP appointment in the next 10 minutes. So I won't be able to talk much, but I'm happy I still stayed and I heard what everybody had said. I'm not going to slug the same topic over and over again. But I would just say that when I first started out in tech, I didn't really think about what people would say. I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, all I knew was that I just wanted to do it. And I was determined to go on this route. And that's the thought I think most women should have. When you have the opportunity, it's up to you to prove it to yourself, wherever you find yourself, that you deserve to be there. You deserve to own that space. You deserve because you have worked for it. I remember when I started, I did computer science, and then I moved back to Nigeria, and there were new jobs for computer scientists. I had to go back to the bank, but I wasn't happy because I knew that that wasn't what I wanted to do. And so I decided to self-develop. I developed myself. I went into product development. I worked closely with engineers, UX designers, UI developers, and that way I formed that passion. And I know that, looking at the, profitability of businesses, for example, in Africa, it's said that on average 34% higher than those led by women over those led by men. And that even in Africa, women lead only 9% of startups in that continent. And despite the fact that Africa is the only region in the world that has the most female entrepreneurs than the male ones, with 65% of the continent goods produced by women. But female entrepreneurship in Africa continues to face challenges, especially in the digital world where women are underrepresented. Only 27% of female entrepreneurs work in technology in Africa. And few embark on this journey because it is due to lack of knowledge, lack of financing, or due to lack of support. And they also lack female role models to follow. Education is also another major challenge to the adoption of technology by women. In Africa, the literacy level is higher amongst boys, which is 1.3 times higher than amongst girls. Men are more likely to go to secondary school and even go beyond that than women. And so we have all these barriers that face African women. But how do we surmount it? What are the steps we need to take? I think one of the things that, I believe that one of the things that needs to be done is to create support. I know, it's something that everybody talks about. These ladies cannot just go out there. If, for example, they don't have access to internet, how will they know things that they need to do? I remember when I worked with eHealth. eHealth we created a hub where people didn't pay. We had to educate them. We had to train them on how to use computers, how to code. And we got a high number, but of course we had more men than women. But the focus was just to start to drive digital literacy. And so I would say that, in a nutshell, really, for women, I have to drop off now, which is why I'm kind of rushing. I think that for us as women, we need to just inspire and create more visible female success stories around us. Who are the success stories? Where are they coming from? What are their backgrounds? How did they surmount the gaps? How did they surmount the hurdles? What are the challenges they've had to face? Right? And what are the things that they've done to make it to where they are? And that there are opportunities out there. There's so many opportunities in the future of technology. We have jobs it doesn't necessarily have to do with coding. It doesn't have to do with product management, for example. We have things around data analysts. We have data scientists. We have UX, UI designers. There's so many things that we have business analysts. All these jobs are related to technology. And these are also skills that also help to build analytical faculty and make us even as women, if you don't want to go into the core of engineering and building applications. These are also areas that I encourage women to also get into. And to round it off, I'll say that I, as the founder of PM Africa, what I also do is I help to teach them how to interview, because that's also a problem. Even when you get the digital skills, how do you get into the job? How do you ensure that you can compete with other people globally? And these are the ways we can set them up for success. And these are areas these are gaps. There's so many more, but these are the gaps that I am tapping into, trying to help people to get better. So I would like to end now, if you don't mind, but I hope that I was coherent enough and I made enough sense.